Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. So I was doing a little bit of digging on my channel earlier and I noticed one of my very old videos was randomly taking off, like starting to get a lot of views in comparison to where it was originally at. When I dug a bit deeper, I noticed it was my Daytona gold medal guide for the circuit experience, and kind of wondering why is this happening. Did a little bit of thinking and realized, oh, okay, makes sense. Daytona is obviously the most profitable place to be in terms of GT7 currently. However, that guide itself is not only absolutely terrible and not even audio balanced, it's very much outdated. I think since doing that guide, there's been around 2 or 3 physics changes. The entire feeling of the game's completely changed, and it just wouldn't make any sense in terms of current day GT7. It was a very old video. So do you know what? I thought clearly people want to know. There's probably new players on the game. Let me just go ahead, redo that guide. I'll go sector by sector from 1, 2 and 3 to the full lap, slow it down where I need to give you some tips and tricks, and just kind of provide you with a fresh guide so as many people as possible can get that gold medal, get that 400% bonus, and go ahead and make as much money as they possibly can inside of GT7. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is actually find it. So you want to go into World Circuits, head to Americas on the left, and head down to the bottom right where it says Daytona International Speedway. At the bottom, head to Circuit Experience. Now you can see I've already got all the gold medals from way back when. However, I'm going to redo it on the new physics. No, I'm not earning any money. Once again, it's not repeatable. But as long as it helps you guys out, I really don't mind doing this. Okay, before we go in and sort of slow the footage down and take you step by step, I am going to give you some general tips and tricks. But before I do, I just want to highlight that I gave myself some rules that I could not break in order of gold medaling this circuit experience here. So I had to use a DualSense controller. The reason for this is not everybody can afford a wheel and such, and I've seen a lot of people doubt that the cars are absolutely terrible and they're just not usable on controller. That is completely wrong. They are very easy to drive on controller. That's why I've set myself the target of only using the DualSense. Also, on top of that, I cannot use any assists other than the standard ABS default. This way I'm not kind of using traction, anything like that. So DualSense controller only and no assists. So general tips and tricks. What are some of the most important tips and tricks I can give you in terms of the vehicle we're using and how you should be running this run, and I guess the rest of GT7. So we're using a Group 3 car here. These are very, very good in terms of their downforce. In fact, I'd argue that the Ford GT on controller is absolutely fantastic in terms of its handling. It's a very forgiving car. It reacts to short shifting well, and that's going to move me onto tip number 2. Manual transmission. Pretty much a must. There is no reason why you should not be running a manual. It's all about muscle memory. If you're on automatic, go to manual, build up that muscle memory, and trust me, within a few hours, once you've begun to get used to it, you will be much quicker already. You're losing around about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds a lap just by running the auto, especially around somewhere as high speed as Daytona, and this car does react very, very well to short shifting, and I'll explain that throughout the video. Next tip I'm going to give you, and the final one, turn those assists off. Again, pair that with a manual transmission. Trust me, you're going to make up a ton of time. It's really not too difficult. So let's go ahead and go into sector 1. I'd go as far as arguing this is perhaps the most awkward sector of them all, just for the initial turn. It's really quite an awkward one to do, and I'm going to sort of just talk you through it. I'm going to slow the footage down. So you're looking for the markers on the right hand side. There's sort of a light, I believe it is. Start to brake there, and then again just lift off and try and get the car to turn outwards and then back inwards to the left. Once you do, bit of throttle control, then get on the throttle fully on exit, jump over the curbs here, and then start bringing the car over to the left hand side. Now there's no real braking marker here. You just need to kind of get a feeling for it, brake really hard, again let the car rotate once you've gone down the gears, and short shift up to second to maintain as much traction as possible. Bring the car out nice and wide without going over the white line. That will disqualify you and cut the run short, and that will give you a gold for sector 1. 33.400 for the gold. We got a 33.2. Okay, so on to sector 2 now. I wouldn't say this one's too bad. There's only realistically one corner that can be very, very awkward. So absolutely flat out through the left-hander, clip the curb, take it out wide and head back to the left. Now, braking marker just where this sort of runoff area begins on the left. Again, that may be a little bit too early. You can brake a bit later. As you can see, for me, it was just slightly too early and I didn't get the best angle at all. Then bring your car over and again, very smoothly bring on the throttle and accelerate out. I got a little bit of slip there. Use short shifting to your advantage. Once again, brake as this sort of slit road goes off to the right. This will bring you in nice and tightly for a left-hander here. Now you can run it out wider. However, I'm just ensuring that I've got as much grip as possible with the short shift. Quite bumpy through here, and trust me, the car can slip out. But as long as you're short shifting, you should be able to maintain that traction. 32.3 for the gold here, 32.6 for the target. Okay, so sector 3 is really not that bad. I'm going to slow down the majority of this clip because I've heard people saying it's like a really frustrating point. So between where the number 2 and number 1 is on the right, you've got this little light here. Brake there, go down the gears, get yourself up over the left-hand curb, up over the right, and give yourself a nice little angle to once again clip the curb. You can run over these lines here without getting disqualified. As you can see, I do it there. Nothing wrong with that. Full acceleration out, and you should get this one nice and easily. We cross the line with a 16.581 with a gold time of 17. So this may look weird that my gold time was a 147.7, however the leaderboards did get reset and the timings also got completely changed. So let's start the lap. Right hand side once again, look for that little marker there, then brake as hard as you can, bring the car out nice and wide, then start to release the brakes, let the car turn in, give yourself a nice angle. This was much better than my sector 1 run through, and then bring the accelerator in absolutely full throttle, and you're going to go up and over this set of curbs. So up over 1, up over 2 if you need to, and then sort of aim yourself out nice and wide before going out towards the left hand side. Once again, brake. It's very difficult to really pick a marker for this corner. Just bring it in. We touch the grass there and get a bit of a slip. This isn't going to help us too much, but we do manage to keep it under control. Once again, short shifting on the exit, bring it nice and wide up onto the line. Don't go over it or you will get disqualified. And then absolutely flat out down here, flat out through the left-hander here. You don't need to lift and you don't need to brake. So flat out, bring yourself back to the left, and once again brake at the slip road where it sort of slips off to the left at the beginning. Onto the brakes, as you can see, we're then going to lift off. I was a little bit too early once again, bringing it into the right-hander up over the curb, short shifting up to second, and then we're going to bring the throttle in quite nicely before full throttle on exit. Once again, head over to the right. You're looking for the slip road or the beginning of. Look for the kind of middle point, I'd say. I'd honestly recommend it. Then once again, bring the car to the left. Try and miss the curb. We're going to short shift here, bring it out nice and wide, and this is going to give us a nice sort of arching loop for a nice run up this big straight. Again, if you don't perfect that turn or get it too good, you're going to lose an absolute ton of time. Now, absolutely flat out, I don't need to explain anything here. Take the big bank left-hander as quick as possible. Again, I'm going to sort of bring it down low and then bring it back up high, ready for the left, right, right, left section here. Once again, I'm going to slow it down here. Check on the right-hand side, just between the 2 and 1 board, you've got that little light there. Brake nice and hard, bring it across. As you can see, we get a bit of slip from the rear there, up across 1 curb, down shift, up shift for the short shift, up over all of the curbs, and once again aim it. Again, you can kind of go over those lines there without getting disqualified, and that is literally it. You are now going to need to be absolutely flat out all the way to the finish. Once again, I recommend bringing it down the lower banking before rising back up high on exit. So here we go, absolutely flat out, just working our way through the gears. We're going to go up high now and bring ourselves up across the line, ready to try and get that gold. As you can see, this is going to be a completely fresh run for me on the new physics that we got in March, and that is going to give us a 145.393 and the gold medal, way below the target 147 time, and absolutely smashing my previous gold. So it's been a while since I redid any of the gold circuit experiences. Hopefully this guide does help you out. As you can see, it is totally doable. Use a manual, no assist, short shift, trust me. This Ford GT that you're given to do the Daytona Circuit Experience is an absolute gem in terms of its handling. It's super easy to get used to. Hopefully this guide helps you out. I know why you're all heading over there, because the grinds at Daytona and such now. So good luck with that. Hopefully you can get that 400% bonus and make as much money as possible, and hopefully you guys that were trying to, you know, find a guide for it now have an up-to-date guide that makes sense in terms of how GT7 is today. Take care, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.